Now let us see the continuation of the output. Now let us see overloading methods. In Java, it is possible to define two or more methods within the same class and that share the same name as long as their parameter declarations are different. Method overloading is also known as static polymorphism. Argument lists could differ in number of parameters, data type of parameters, sequence of data type of parameters. Where an overloaded method is invoked, Java uses the type and or number of arguments as its guide to determine which version of the overloaded method to actually call. Thus, overloaded methods must differ in the type and or number of their parameters, while overloaded methods may have different return types. The return type alone is insufficient to distinguish two versions of a method. Advantage of method overloading. Method overloading increases the readability of the program. See the code here. See the continuation of the code. Now let us see recursion. Java supports recursion. Recursion is the process of defining something in terms of itself as it relates to Java programming. Recursion is the attribute that allows a method to call itself. A method can call itself is said to be recursive. See the code. See the continuation of the code. Now let us see advantages of recursion. Recursion reduces time complexity, performs better in solving problems based on the tree structures. Access control. The access modifiers in Java specifies accessibility, scope of the data member, method, constructor or class. There are four types of Java access modifiers: private, default, protected and public. Public. A class, method, constructor, interface, etc. declared public can be accessed from any other class. Therefore, fields, methods, blocks declared inside a public class can be accessed from any class belonging to the Java universe. It has the widest scope among all other modifiers. See the code here. Now let us see private. Methods, variables and constructors that are declared private can only be accessed within the declared class itself. Private access modifier is the most restrictive access level. Class and interfaces cannot be private. Variables that are declared private can be accessed outside the class if the public getter methods are present in the class. See the code here. Now let us see the protected. Variables, methods and constructors which are declared protected in a superclass can be accessed only by the subclass in other package or any class within the package of the protected members class. The protected access modifier cannot be applied to class and interface. See the code here. Now let us see default. Default access modifier means we do not explicitly declare an access modifier for a class, field, method, etc. A variable or method declared without any access control modifier is available to any other class in the same package. The field in an interface are implicitly public, static, final, and the methods in an interface are by default public. See the code here. Now let us see table for access modifiers: within class, within package, outside package by subclass only, outside package, private, default, protected, public. Now let us see static. Static, it is a keyword which is used to define the class members that will be used independent of any object of that class. Static members are initialized for the first time when class is loaded. The most common example of static member is main. Main is declared as static because it must be called before any object exists, that is without instantiating the class. Static methods. Methods declared as static have several restrictions. They can only directly call other static methods. They can only directly access static data. They cannot refer to this or super in any way. Static blocks. Static blocks are also called static initialization blocks. A static initialization block is a normal block of the code enclosed in the braces and preceded by the static keyword. See the code here. See the continuation of the code. Outside of the class in which they are defined, static methods and variables can be used independently of any object. To do so, you need only specify the name of their class followed by the dot operator. Now let us see inheritance. Inheritance in Java is a mechanism in which one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object. The idea behind inheritance is in Java is that you can create new classes that are built upon existing classes. When you inherit from an existing class, you can reuse methods and fields of parent class, and you can add new methods and fields also. Inheritance represents the ISA relationship, also known as parent-child relationship. The class which inherits the properties of other is known as subclass, derived class, or child class, and the class whose properties are inherited is known as superclass. Base class, parent class. Extends is the keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. Use of inheritance in Java. For method overriding, so runtime polymorphism can be achieved for code reusability. See the syntax here and the figure and code. Types of inheritance: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. See the figure. Single level inheritance, only one class extends one class only. See the code here. Multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance refers to a mechanism in OO technology where one can inherit from a derived class, thereby making this derived class the base class for the new class. See the code here.